Bodine here. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. Today I want to talk about burn rate. Burn rate is extremely important when you're in retirement. It's something to learn if you're getting close to retirement. We don't think about these things in our daily life when we're working. We just kind of expect them, and we just accept it on a monthly basis. And what I mean by a burn rate is the amount of money you're burning through when you're working, and an example of what you may burn through when you're retired on a fixed income. Maybe Social Security combined for your wife and yourself of $2,500 a month. Maybe, I think the national average is $2,000 per month, right in there, $2,070 per month. So two people getting Social Security can be $4,000 a month. That's a substantial amount of money, $48,000 a year. But maybe it's not as much as what we were making when we were working. And we get concerned because we're not making as much, but here's something to think about. If we control the burn rate and we lower the burn rate, meaning the amount of money we spend, it makes it more acceptable and feasible to live on the $48,000. Now these numbers are just kind of examples. I'm just kind of using round numbers. But when we don't work and we're retired, in my situation, I only need one vehicle now instead of two. Saves me a tremendous amount of money. I'm not driving back and forth to work on a daily basis, rushing to get out of the house. And when I'm in a hurry, I buy a coffee, or maybe I have to get a quick breakfast, and that can run me $5 or $10. And sometimes I'd grab a quick lunch because I had worked, past my lunch hour because I was busy at work and what I was doing in management. So you grab a quick lunch or have somebody get you a lunch and bring it back to work for you. Next thing you know, you're spending $20 a day. And you've got the gas to commute back and forth to work. So that's what I'm talking about, burn rate. When we retire, we really have to look at our burn rate going in. Instead of being scared of retirement, let's really look at it and compare it to when we were working. If we're able to slow our burn rate down, it works out fairly well. When I worked, I had a certain business wardrobe that I had to wear, nicer shoes than I'd wear on a daily basis. So it's like you had two wardrobes, one for work, one for casual, one for being outdoors. So when you retire and you're not having to work, you're not driving to work, and again, the fuel, the maintenance on the vehicle. And I was looking at some statistics, and it's about $5,000 to $6,000 a year without a car payment just to maintenance your car and pay for the fuel to get to and from work with the commute. A lot of people commute a lot further than I did, but I was still paying about $40 a week for fuel to and from, and then the oil changes and the wear and tear on the car, plus the actual car itself. So I don't need two cars anymore. So my burn rate has gone down automatically to adjust to the income that I was making before. So that's actually a very realistic approach to looking at retirement. If you're making $48,000 a year on retirement, that's equivalent to a $72,000 to $75,000 a year job of Social Security. And if we can lower our burn rate even more, it can help us even more. These are things that I didn't really look at before retirement. I didn't understand it. In the last couple of weeks, I've really been looking at my budget and talking about it, and where am I saving and when am I not saving? I called it kind of the Ben Franklin close for myself. The positives on one side, the negatives on the other, and weigh them out. I do some research, and it's literally called the burn rate. Again, maybe a lot of you know about it. I did not. So when I compared my finances now and what they're going to be with only having the one vehicle, lowering my expenses to go, I found that I have more money on a monthly basis, making less than I did when I was working, because I had a high burn rate. I look back at it and it's kind of embarrassing, because that means I wasn't really good at budgeting. So when I find things out about myself that I'm doing incorrect, I want to share it with you, because maybe you're making the same mistakes. Maybe you're scared to go into retirement on Social Security. You don't know if you need to supplement. So we get a little bit nervous, rightfully so, right? Because once you retire, on Social Security, I mean, that's a forever thing. Once you accept that payment from Social Security, it's a forever number. And I did it at 62, so my forever number is going to be longer than a lot. Maybe you did it the same way. But if we control the burn, it's almost like getting a raise. We control the spending, we have a fixed income on Social Security, we adjust the burn rate down to where it feels similar to what we were doing before. If we're not quite there, our income is not quite there, we can supplement. We can supplement. You have to look it up on the SSA, as we talked about. How much money can I make while I'm on Social Security without being penalized on my payments from Social Security? And you'll come up with a number yearly is what that is, what you can make without being penalized. And that's somewhere around $20,000. It doesn't matter if you make that money up front in a couple of months and don't work anymore, or if you make it monthly and it equals that number. But here's something. If you have the SSA and you control the burn, and you end up with a $500 a month job, that's very part-time. What is that, a couple days a month? $125 a week. You're still retired and you have that small income coming in. You can supplement that $500 and it looks completely different. If you're married, jumping up a hill. If you're married, then that number becomes times 2. Both working part-time could put $1,000 a month back into your income. Now that Social Security is looking better, that retirement's looking a little better, and it's more comfortable and we understand it. These numbers going into retirement are extremely important because it's very stressful and nerve-wracking. And as we get older and we start to retire, we don't want to have that knee-jerk reaction to things. And right before you retire there, that couple months can be very difficult because we're making sporadic decisions. So really, this is something to talk about earlier in life. But if you're close to retirement now, think about these things. How do we control the burn rate? It's monthly subscriptions that we have on our TV. It's monthly payments that we may have on something that we don't need. Maybe it is that second car payment. We have to look at our auto insurance. We have to look at our health insurance. Get the lowest number you can, because when you're working, we're so busy, we don't always have the time to do that and compare auto insurance and all these things to save the money. So we end up paying more and our burn rate's higher, but that's okay because we have this income. Well, let me tell you, on Social Security, when you're getting later in life, you want to make sure that that burn rate is lower. And if we make sure the burn rate's lower and we figure out ways to, bring in a small amount of income, that looks amazing because now it starts to balance and we're not so stressed. And we're talking about jobs that are little income streams that are very easy to do, especially when we get more mature. So I really wanted to share with you about that burn rate because I wanted to make sure that I was really on to something. Of course, saving money on a monthly basis is real and it helps. But I really needed to compare that burn rate to where I was income-wise, where I'm going to be now, and what exactly I need to do to keep the burn rate down. And I'll tell you one thing. You can control the burn rate and everything will be looking good. But then what happens is we start thinking that we deserve something. I'm retired, I worked my whole life, I deserve it. Well, maybe, rightfully so, right? You worked hard, you deserve things, but that can get you in danger. When looking at a new vehicle and you go into retirement, maybe you have it paid off or almost paid off, and we make the decision to buy the forever car, and now we're back up there in a high payment and something happens, medical, whatever it is, it can put you back down. We talked about it before in a couple of videos. When it comes time, do you think you need it, you want it, you deserve it, walk away and take your time to make the decision. Making those sporadic decisions, especially later in life on a fixed income, you don't have the same opportunity as you did before to go find a job to pay more money and pay it off. And you don't have maybe as many years, or things can happen as we mature to leave us in the lurches with owing that debt, or leaving a family member with that debt. So extremely important to cover the burn rate. That's what I wanted to share with you. Let me know if you've adjusted your burn rate or if you've referred to the burn rate before. Kind of a new term to me. Extremely important. I appreciate everybody watching and all the comments. It's been great. And I'm on an amazing hike today, not as sunny as it has been. Remember to do something great for somebody today. Do something great for yourself. And do something every day to make yourself feel better. Stay positive, and we'll see you in the next one.